At this time, we would like to stand and join the class of 1995 All-State Music Representatives sing our national anthem. These 5 people are Jasmine Iron, Stephanie Deacon, Francis Jacob, Heidi Powell, and Amy Patterson.
Oh yeah, cool.
Good evening. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and the student body of Ellsworth High School,
We would like to welcome you all, parents, relatives, and friends, to the commencement of the class of 1995.
we welcome you to graduation, the culmination of 4 years of hard work, some of it.
We welcome you to graduation, an opportunity to spend the evening being a sculptor of the jobs that your choices friends.
We welcome you to graduation, a night of beginnings and a night of endings.
We welcome you to graduation, both a celebration and a requiem. We welcome you, and we thank you for sharing this evening with us.
With humor, tonight's guest speaker has taught us all that the best laughs are those at ourselves. He has traveled around the nation, bringing with him Maine hospitality and, of course, the Maine accent. Please join me in a warm Ellsworth High School welcome for Mr. Tim Campbell.
Don't get too excited, I ain't done nothing yet. I want to thank everybody that's here, particularly them that invited me. Nothing like seeing a bunch of excited, sweaty faces. When I walked in the building, somebody come up and says, "Oh, Timmy, I'm your biggest fan." I says, "It gets any harder in here, look, I need a big fan." It's exciting to see the graduation of the state of Maine, and I am excited about the state of Maine. I really am. I've had a chance over the last few years to travel all over the country. You probably don't believe that, but I have. Yeah, I just got back from a big tour of the western states. New Hampshire. And I'm telling you one thing, don't stay the Maine, dear. You go They do, they understand. You say Maine, you want Maine, get it. You go someplace, you tell them a bunch of folks are going to eat in the Utah, you want. Don't mean nothing, really. And it's because of our Maine character that we have this reputation. There's things that we do in the state of Maine that we do better than anybody else, anywhere in the country. And one of them, maybe the primary one, is to come up consistently, not just every once in a while, but consistently come up with a snappy answer. You know, that quick one-liner. Really, we're famous for this. We are. Major national universities have done studies on this. Federally funded. Not anymore, Johnny. But anyway, to try to find out why is it that many people have this unique special ability to come up with them snappy answers. Well, naturally, I got my own theory. I actually believe that comes from generation after generation of native Mainers getting asked a lot of dumb questions. And I can tell you right off, they ain't dropping off. Some are just around the corner. And of course, I must say, we do bring on some of this stuff ourselves because we always, since I was a little kid, they have pumped it into folks in the state of Maine. They taught us, they probably taught you from the time you're growing up. They tell you, we got to get more tourists. More tourists. Did you hear that? More tourists in Maine. We got to get more tourists. I tell you flat out, we don't. Think about it. We do not need more tourists in the state of Maine. We can get by with fewer actual individual tourists if each one of them had more tourist dollars. Right? Not to the chase here, you know, so I'm working on a plan for this. I'm meeting with the Maine Department of Tourism, which is a select group of folks from Massachusetts. And I've come up with what I refer to as the big tourist theory. And I really believe if we worked at it long enough in the state of Maine, we can get by with one really wealthy tourist. I'm nominating Ross Perot, he's part of the I take the whole summer off. I pick him up at Kittery, shift him all around the state, drop him off after Labor Day, and he dropped out $8.6 million. We split it up. Be easier on the infrastructure. But they won't go for a simple idea like that. Many people are good at coming up with the basic ideas. No, they go for these complicated ideas. Now, some of you remember last spring, and this is a true thing. I read it right in the Old North American. Hey, that's 2 minutes of the best reading, 2 minutes of the best reading of Coke Lane right there. I read this article, it was a press release that said the aforementioned Maine Department of Tourism, they had come up with a budget of $24,000. That's about 200 days right there. They had $24,000 set aside for an ad campaign to make Maine people like tourists better. You remember that? I was excited at first. I thought we was each going to get $24,000. I said, yeah. Then I figured they would split it out. But see, what they really ought to do, they've misunderstood why people come to Maine. And I know this, I made an informal study of it, and there's only 2 or 3 things that people want to do when they come to Maine. They want to go see a lighthouse, eat a lobster. But secretly, they share one deep and abiding desire. They secretly, every one of them wants to pull up to some little country store, someplace, and have some cranky old geezer say, "You can't get there from here." And I know these folks, and you can get a raft of them for $24,000. Get them out there, they can learn that one line easy. And then when the folks from Wayne pull out, roll down the window, and they hear that line, I mean, they'll be grinning like a dog That brings back the best thing for tourism. Now here's another thing that they come up with. And it's running again this year. Referendum. People ask me where I get my ideas, right out the paper. There's a referendum going on. Here's the one question on the ballot. Should we widen the main turnpike? You heard that one? Should we widen? Not should we put more moose on it, but should we? But if you want anybody who knows anything about the geography of the state of Maine understands there's a fundamental flaw here. All right, let's just say for the heck of it, since we're just speculating, let's say you did widen the main turnpike. I have my own theory about what they ought to do. I said, how about 8 lanes out, 2 lanes in? But here's the problem. Let's say you widen her out there, Kinnering, okay? And let's say you pick a number, 17, 21, let's say 27 lanes, okay? Just as a number, okay? So we built a 27-lane turnpike, and here you are, you're coming into the state of Maine, pretend you're from away, you're coming in, you're in the Winnebago, you're sailing along 27 lanes, right? And you're sailing along in your Winnebago with your wheels up on one corner like a pump truck, you know, and you go along, Garfield law on one window, 4-year-old kid up there in the window. Right? You're sailing along in the state of Maine, 27 lanes, hunky-dory, right? You've got no idea in the world that all 27 of them lanes is going to funnel right down into Route 1. Construction. Talk about life in a slow lane. I guess probably long before you get to Ellsworth. I'd say right around Wisconsin, you encounter a unique phenomenon these other states have never seen before. It's called gridlock with a view. You can sit in your car for about half an hour, going approximately 18 feet. And the whole time you're staring at this one dog. You got one of them blaze orange vests on. He's dressed out about 275. Missing a few teeth across the front. Right? Leaning on a sign that says slow. In case you was thinking that this went right by. But they did save quite a bit of money. I don't know if you read this in the paper, but saved quite a bit of money on the state road budget because somebody come up with a technological innovation. And they laid off about a half the road crew workers last summer because somebody designed a shovel that would stand up all by itself. I can't really look out at these smiling, youthful faces without thinking, graduating from high school in the state of Maine without thinking about how boy you'll be. Yeah. You'll be never made it graduation or anywhere else. And he's a good boy. You don't misunderstand me, he's a good boy. But it's a little hard to describe him. All right? Let me see if I can put it so way you can understand it. You've all heard of folks who don't know nothing, right? Human don't even suspect nothing. But he has got enthusiasm. And that is one thing I'll give young kids. You know this. If you have a young kid, you are a young kid. There's an enthusiasm to young kids, and if you could harness it, you could run the world. Huey was always enthusiastic. Remember, he was a little kid. We'd go on a fishing trip. Hubert always wanted to go. He wanted to go fishing in the worst way, which is the way we knew he'd go if he ever did. But the boys knew how young he was, and they played tricks on him. Sometimes it was a little nasty, a little bit mean. And then one time we was going on a 3-day fishing trip up Greenville, and Hubert got wind of the fact that before he seen this pull pickup truck in the driveway, we backed in with the camper on the back. left her idling in the driveway. You were doing that, man. Fishing trip. Huh? He run right up, he got all his gear, got his rod and his reel. He stood right by that car so we couldn't miss it. He stood right there, right? We took the car. Didn't matter, he came back a few days later, just as excited as ever. Never bothered him a bit. But I want you to understand that even Hubert, never underestimate somebody, even somebody now. Hubert is capable of coming up with a snappy answer. Now, this happened, oddly enough, at the only time that Hubert ever got in trouble with the law. And it was an accident due to his enthusiasm. He was getting ready to turn in his science fair project, which was building a solar collector on the side of the barn of the hubcaps. There's quite a few of these in the state of Maine. They ain't quiet out, but you look around at that. And he was missing a couple of hubcaps. And he made the fatal mistake of liberating them hubcaps off the sheriff's cruiser while the sheriff was in the cruiser. All right, so it got written up in the paper. You only just got a warning, but it got written up in the paper. Well, you know how these things escalate. People read the paper. And that just so happened to be a young preacher in town, just graduated from the Bangalore Theological Seminary. And he was right on fire to what changed the world. And he wasn't with any of these mainstream denominations. He was out with some of these little offshoots. I think it was the Powerhouse Church of the Presumptuous Assumption of the Wine and Wine. But they got a lot of energy anyway. Well, he called me up, he seen in the paper, and he says, this is my calling. He says, I feel as though I should come and talk some sense into that boy. He says, you and a bunch of other folks. No, he says, really? I said, go ahead, you come out, talk to me. I just want to warn you. Greater ships than yours have run aground on these rocks. But anyways, he came out that afternoon, he pulled up to a little leopard car. You know, leopard car. Look at leopard cars. Hancock County, I know it was like a 79 Chevette with a ball spray painted and primer on that kind of, yeah, like a main version of a Jaguar. But anyway, he pulled up one of those, and I noticed the shots on the driver's side were pretty well shot. I could see why when he came out, because he was lugging this Bible. I mean, it must have been about 75 pounds, great big thick thing. He was quite proud of it. He said it was originally a Jimmy and Tammy autograph bottle. Went for over $500 on TV. He got it for about $59 at the yard sale. He went out back to the trailer, and he started in talking to Gilbert. And he was quite a preacher. He started off in Genesis, cranked on up through Revelation, slapped through the come on back down on through. Let him have it 2 hours. Hellfire and brimstone preaching, and not one word of that sermon hit Hubert. You said not one word. The lights was on, but nobody was home. You know? And this preacher was getting desperate. And finally, in his desperation, he struck upon an analogy. He stuck his hand up, and he had a quarter and a dime and a penny. He said, Hubert, let me put it this way. What if I was telling you that if you took the quarter, that yes, in this life you have a quarter, but after you pass on, you have to go to hell. Right at that moment he said that word, this look passed across Hubert's face. If you know Hubert, you realize it's just a look like a cloud passed across the moon. It don't mean nothing. But the preacher thought that really he was making a connection. And it is a certain look. It's like a deer caught in the headlights. A lot of intensity, but not behind it. So the preacher kept going, and he says, on the other hand, Hubert, if we just take the dime, he says, you only have to go as high as Purgatory. Well, sure, we figured that's kind of like hell with the thermostat turned down a few notches, right? But he says, on the other hand, if you only take a penny, he says, yes, you will have but one penny. But after you pass on, you will get to spend eternity in heaven. Now, Hubert, given that choice, what would you do? Well, Hubert just kind of snapped out. He saw the fellow stand there with his hand out. He looked at the cords, he grabbed all three. He said, no, I guess I wouldn't like I want to. Well, I I want to say that I'm very proud to be here. For those of you who are not aware of this fact, I am a Maine native, but I also speak English as a second language. And I'm also here to tell the graduates that, yes, in fact, you can go anywhere you want to. Maine, I grew up in a little town in Maine. I went to kindergarten and graduated from high school with the same 35 or so kids. I didn't really feel at the time, I didn't really appreciate the education I was getting, not only in terms of academic education, but in terms of social education, in terms of understanding how people rely and need to rely on one another. But I'll tell you something, you'll find as you go through life that growing up in Maine, in a town like Ellsworth, is a tremendous preparation for the rest of your life. And there are lots of possibilities. I just want to say very quickly that this is not, people say at the graduation, at the beginning, everything begins from here. What were you, asleep the last 17 or 18 years? You've learned a lot already, you've built a foundation, but the world is a very interesting and complex place, and I think that a foundation such as you have when you grow up and go to school in Maine stands you in very good stead in the rest of the world. It has for me. I also want to say one of the wonderful liberating things about getting out of school, out of high school, I'm sure you're going, many of you want to other levels of education, but one of the things that I learned, I had when I was in school, what they later found out they call math anxiety. Anybody have math anxiety? It's when you're presented with mathematical problems, your brain freezes over. You know, I had a fourth grade teacher who would have flashcards. Timmy! It's like in the Twilight Zone. Timmy! What's 4 times 16? Ah! I just freeze up. And when they invented the pocket calculator, I wanted to go find her at the nursing home and wheel her out and say, okay, hit me with your best shot. 500 million divided by 1.2, bang! There you go. But one of the things that, for me, was the most liberating experience, I was always told in mathematics, and I got plenty of F's in mathematics, but I got a lot of right answers, but I was always told, it doesn't matter if you get the right answer, if you do the problem wrong. Has anyone been told that in a math class? You know, if you don't do the, you know, you get the right answer? I'm here to tell you, it's a wonderful world awaiting you, because out in the rest of the world, they don't care. They don't care how you got the right answer, you get the brass ring. That's it, period. So that's a good point. But I want to leave you with this thought. I have had great opportunities in working with Charles Crawl and Charles Osgood on CBS Sunday Morning. It's been a tremendous broadening of scope for me in my lifetime. And I have come to believe that here in Maine, the values that we have, the intrinsic values of the state of Maine, the way of life, the way our communities are structured, is truly the best preparation for success in the rest of the world. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do. Thank you for having me.
It's a simple fact. A curtain has to close in order for it to open again. I know that. But every time the final curtain closes on a show, I am overcome by a longing for it to never end. Even though I know it has to, so that the next show can begin. At the moment that the curtain closes, I forget all the frustration of rehearsal, all the differences I may have had with other cast members, all the times that I just wanted to scream, and even the times that I did scream. During the magical time immediately after the curtain closes on a performance for the last time, I feel so close to my fellow cast members. We've all lived the same experiences for months. We've all shared the same joys and the same triumphs. We've suffered through the same things. We've hammered our thumbs with the same hammers while building sets. And we've been pricked by the same pins while getting into costume. We've become a family, the cast, a singular term rather than a plural, the actors. We'll see each other again. We'll probably even perform together again. But it will never be quite the same. It may be just as good, or better, but it will never be quite the same. Tonight feels like a final curtain to me. And the class of 1995 is the cast. My mind is full of all the good memories, and I can't remember the bad. I feel a close connection to all my classmates. This year was the last appearance of a production that has been so successful and so memorable. It was the last appearance of our high school years. Sure, there have been some missed entrances, and we've all gotten a little lost at times and have completely forgotten the characters that we were supposed to be playing. But as a whole, it has been a success. Perhaps we feel the magnitude of the final curtain a little more than others have, because we carry an additional heading on our marquee. We are not only the graduating class of Ellsworth High School. We are the last class to graduate from the old Ellsworth High School. Every function and occasion this year has been prefaced by a little speech reminding us that this is the last fall musical on the stage in the cafeteria, the last basketball game in the gym, the last NHS induction. I almost expected an announcement when the last pencil was sold in the school store, or when the last hamburger and gravy was sold in the cafeteria. You know the listings of the most commonly used words in the English language? Well, if they had surveyed Ellsworth High School this year, I'm sure the word last would have rivaled the word the for the first position. Everything was a last. All of these lasts have made us so much more aware of all of our firsts as well. The first day of high school, when we walked in feeling totally lost because there wasn't any bus room. The first time, we sat through an entire day of classes without recess. The first morning, when we heard Mr. Beale doing the morning announcements in that memorable way of his, during what was also his first morning at Ellsworth High School. In remembering our firsts and being made so aware of our lasts, we have gained that feeling of unity perhaps as much as any 100 people ever can. Tonight is our final curtain. Tomorrow, we will all go on to obtain new roles. Some at college, some at work, some at home. For tonight, however, we are not Colby students, not secretaries, not University of Maine students, not employees in family businesses, not Tufts students, not EMTC students, not parents, not Harvard students, not Williams students. That will begin tomorrow. Tonight, the spotlight shines on us as the Ellsworth High School class of 1995. Our cast members are varied, and when we combine to form a whole, they define the identity of the class of 1995. In our diversity, we form the personality of the class itself. We are the boy who wore a skirt to school. the high school, a black belt in karate, and the actresses who will go far. A girl who raises sheep, and an extremely talented violinist. The class of 1995 is beauty pageant contestants, and a girl who traveled to Ecuador. It's the boy who wildly drives the Nova, careening around corners. It's those unforgettable red-headed twins, and the boys who ride motorcycles, and the ones who go line dancing in cowboy boots. It's Pizza Hut patrons and U-Haul fanatics. It is students who graduated early, and it's the ones who moved to Colorado, to New Jersey, to New Hampshire, to Michigan, and to many other places who will always remain a special part of our class. We are the class that holds annual Carrot Day parties, and the class that suffered through Mr. LaPaw's bad jokes and managed to avoid spontaneous combustion in his lab somehow. We are the class that plays wiffle ball in parking lots and runs barefoot on beaches during rainstorms. We are athletes and artists, musicians and scholars, dreamers and workers, and the ones who live life for the moment. We are all of this, and we are so much more. We've learned...
Kelly Allison Lunt. Seth Michael Payer. Mike Conley. Jeremy Edgar Phillips. Jeremiah Ray Jordan.